Ever since I was a little kid, Orlando, Florida has definitely been my happy place. And I feel like when people think of a happy place, it's always something that's kind of figurative. But for me, it's literally a place, and that place is Orlando, Florida. I grew up going there because my family was super into like Disney movies. So when I was a baby, they started going to Disney in Florida every year. I think I call Orlando my happy place just because it's somewhere where you can get away from what reality is. Like, not only does being in Disney and Universal Studios itself allow you to be more of a child in a sense, it's really just a place where you're escaping. Like, you don't have to worry about a job, or like school or anything stressful. It's not something you're really thinking about when you're there because it's such an adventurous place that you are forced to think of that and not like the life that you left behind, if that makes sense. When I took my dad there for the first time, it was the first time that I realized the effect that places like Disney can have on people, because my dad is an adult, and when we took him there for the first time, because he's my stepdad, so he hadn't been with us previously, when we took him for the first time, he was just in awe, like almost crying, because it was such a magical thing for him. And so that really just sits well with me, knowing that even adults can be mesmerized by all that is there. Next week, I am going back to Orlando for the second time this year, actually. I have already been once in August. So it's not just my happy place, it's kind of like a family-wide thing, so much so that my brother moved there and started working for the Disney company. So I think I'm most excited to see him when I go there, and it's really hard for me to be away from my brother because we are very close. I feel like a lot of people, when they think of Disney or even Orlando in general, it's kind of cheesy to them for people who are older to be still super into that kind of thing. But it's not that much of a joke, or a joke at all really, for me and my family. It's like something that's serious enough for us to tattoo it. Like, my mom and dad both have Disney tattoos. My brother has one from Hercules. His girlfriend, my sister-in-law, has one from Peter Pan. And I'm getting the lamp from Aladdin, actually, because I was named after the movie Aladdin. My brother was watching Aladdin while he was in the hospital, like when my mom was having me. And so he went in there and told her, like, name her Jasmine, and they did. So it's literally my namesake. My dog's name is Raja because he's my dog, so it's like Jasmine and Raja. I think that trying to describe the feeling that I have when I step into Disney or Universal Studios, or when I know I'm in Orlando, I think that's something that's really hard to put into words. I feel like there's no sentences that can be formed to describe like the overwhelming joy when I'm in these places, because it's something that really cannot be recreated in any sense of the word. Like, there's nothing else like it or anything else like that feeling, and I feel like other people wouldn't be able to understand until they've experienced it too, because, not to be cheesy, but it really is magic. I think the earliest memory that I have of going to Orlando is probably around when I was growing out of like my kindergarten stage, so like 6 or 7 maybe, but I definitely don't remember anything from before then. But I do remember as a kid always being super excited to go, and for some reason that just hasn't died out yet. Like, I'm 18 now, and here I still am loving it just as much as I did when I was 6. So for our next Orlando trip, we are leaving next week, October 5th. We're going this year to actually visit my brother because it's the first time he's been there and we're here. So we're going to visit him. I will be getting on a plane here in Chicago to fly to Indy so I can meet up with my family. And we're going to spend the week going to the different Disney parks, Universal Studios, and then I will be flying from Florida back to Chicago, unfortunately, when the trip has to end. I think another reason why Orlando is such a happy place for me is because it goes directly with something else that makes me happy, which is film, especially Universal Studios. Like, when you go there, you're literally walking around in a movie, living in a movie. There are so many Universal movies out there that are super famous, like E.T., Jaws, Jurassic Park, all super, super huge franchises that are literally Universal, and those are some of the things that you get to see firsthand when you go there. The whole park was just designed and created for people to go and live through their favorite movies, and it's absolutely amazing. And I think that's another big part about why I love going there so much, is because I do love movies, and I do like having that escape where you can completely immerse yourself in this different world of these characters and people and places that you grew up loving. Me and my cousin always, for some reason, when we go on roller coasters, like there's one called Space Mountain that's in Tomorrowland at Disney World. Every time we get on that ride, we start screaming and yelling, I can't swim, I can't swim. Like, I don't know why, but it just became a tradition, and I think that's something that's really comforting to me to have, to hold on to and look forward to all the time. Yeah, I was screaming that so hard one time that I lost my voice completely for the rest of our trip the last time I was there. I think that's really funny, but it just goes to show that you can be super careless in settings like this and completely let go of who you are regularly and just have fun.